Hello, hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome again to Soul Chats. And for those of you who don't know me, Abigail Mensah Bonsu, founder of the Moon Goddess Academy and the Moon Goddess Publishing, also the host of the Sovereign Divinity podcast. And these Soul Chats are something that I just started this year because I was really craving connecting with especially the people who move me, the people who inspire me, the people who empower me, the people who come into my life and I'm like, good God, you're amazing. I just want to connect with them. And not only that, to also bring them to you, to introduce them to you. The world that we're in right now, there's a lot of people who are craving good, authentic, honest, amazing people. So I am blessed with them and I am introducing them to you so you can also learn about who they are and what is the magic they're creating in the world. And today I have this beautiful soul sister who has been blowing my mind. Okay, it's all about storytelling today. And we're going to dive into why that is important and also some of the magic, how she is working with her clients to bring this magic to life. Like, I hope you're ready for this. Terrie, thank you so much for joining me.
I am so happy to be here, Abigail. Thank you. And I just always, whenever I am with you, even though it's, with a machine, I so feel your energy, your joy, your magic. So happy to be here.
Oh, I love your necklace. I can see it now.
Thank you. Yes.
Is that turquoise?
Yes.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Yes. And that's perfect too. All about storytelling, sharing your story. So first, let's start with this, Terrie. For those, for people who don't know you, who are you?
I am all about having people know that they matter, that they have a voice. I love helping people reignite their creativity. I love helping people who don't think they're creative, who don't think they can write, to discover that they are a storyteller. We are all born storytellers. And sometimes along the way, whether it's in school or something happens and people decide they can't write, they're not creative. And when we tell our stories, it's the way we connect. It's the way we understand ourselves, each other, and the world. And to have that experience of actually being heard and understood. So that's why I'm a story advocate.
I love that. I love that. So I met Terrie because a friend of ours had a workshop and she invited me to come and experience. I had no idea what it was going to be like. I mean, she's also a publisher, so I knew it was going to be around, storytelling.
I've been published, but I'm not a publisher.
Oh no, Melissa.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yes. Yes. So this is how I met you, because it was through the workshop that you did for her. And I was blown away what came through in just a short amount of time that we had together. I mean, you walked us through certain exercises, and each time it was just like, oh my goodness, this is incredible. So I want to know, let's talk a little bit about this. When did you notice this was a gift? This was your gift to the world?
Well, it's the most unexpected thing. And of course, well, I shouldn't say of course, but it completely came out of adversity. I had carpal tunnel in both my hands. I had no idea how I was going to support myself. And the only thing I knew was that my next job would have to involve my brain.
Mhm.
Teaching was the only thing my mother told me not to do because she was a burned out second grade teacher. But I had been taking workshops. That's all I did. I had a day job. I was taking workshops, writer, actor, performing. And my teacher was leaving. And it was a place that's called Beyond Baroque Literary Arts Center. It's a really prestigious place and very community. And I realized, oh, if Nancy leaves, they're not going to have this. And that felt like a crime to me. So despite me not knowing if I could do it, not knowing if I would be good at it or like it, I decided to throw my hat in. And for whatever reason, Nancy recommended me. And I really had to rally the artistic director. So the very first day of my workshop, the hardest thing actually was opening the door. And that was such a metaphor. The door would not open, the lock, it's an old building. And so I got in, and when I started talking to my students, I was shocked that my writing mentor, the person that changed my life, that helped me get what was inside my head onto paper, because I would be paralyzed and suicidal whenever I had to write in school. So many reports I never turned in, and he literally was my Annie Sullivan at the water pump. I opened my mouth and I can hear his voice in my head. I had no idea I'd absorbed everything. It even changed the timbre of the way I was talking, my rhythm, his gentleness. And at the end of that very first workshop, I identified the sensation that I was having, and I realized it's the same feeling that you have as when you are in love. That's how I knew. And I've never had that feeling before of being so sure of this is it. That was 22 years ago.
Wow.
So that's how I found out that I was grounded, that I could be intuitive, all these things that I would never have known if it wasn't for the fact that I was injured and didn't know what to do and how to support myself.
Wow. I love that. What I love about what you just shared is also how you trusted it and you moved forward with it. Like I wonder how many people get that they're doing something and they just like, oh my gosh, I really love this. But then something stops them. It's like, oh, this is not real. I can't do this. Or so-and-so said I couldn't. And you're like, I'm going to continue this.
Yeah. Once that day happened, I knew. But before that, it was really taking that leap. And because I was pushed, and I really see that in my life, the big changes always come from adversity.
There's so much gold in the adversities that we experience if we are willing to see it, right?
Yeah. And my mother had told me while I was having carpal tunnel, and it was painful and it was scary, but she said, Terrie, there's going to be a hidden blessing. So, our mothers are always right.
Sometimes.
That's true. That's true.
But yes, absolutely. Oh my gosh, what a wisdom. So you have the ability to pull, you call it the golden stories out of people. And, as for me, just in that little workshop that we did, like you were able to pull such a powerful story from something that I thought it was nothing. Like I just stared at my paper like, I need to keep writing on this. This is incredible. You have that gift of pulling that golden story out of people, because we all have stories. Like you said, we're all storytellers, but it's more of which story is the medicine that is needed at this time, or which story is ready to be told, right?
So what I help people with, because really where our creative gold is in our subconscious. So I do meditations and exercises to prime that, to allow it to move from the subconscious to the conscious, because that would be too much pressure and nobody could do that. Oh my gosh, tell me your story gold. Well, forget it. And then you're going to want to run away. And then you're going to think, oh, well, I can't do this. No. So it's, coming from that place of being relaxed, being still, and just allowing it, and to have guidance and encouragement and support, and also to have a reflection, because we live with our own experiences and they may not seem amazing or fascinating because you're so used to them. So it's also having somebody who is outside to say, hey, wait a minute, what is that? Let's pull that string. Let me see where that takes you.
And you are so good at it. You're so good at it. It's like, you start talking about something, you're like, it's not this, it's nothing. And you're like, wait, let's go back here. Let's just pull this up. Let's go into it. And the way you do it, like I'm simplifying the way you do it. It is very intuitive. It's very powerful. You connect. You connect to the person that you're working with, and you're able to guide them through this journey that I don't think I can find words for it. Like you have to experience it. It is incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Thank you. I so appreciate that. But I'm so interested and curious. So that's part of it. And then I really see myself as a nurturing detective with people's stories.
I love that. I love that. So with that, I want to hear from you. Why is it important for people to share their stories?
Well, first of all, you get to find out what actually happened. So there are what I call the myths that we tell ourselves. The stories that you tell friends or people at parties, it's very rote. But when you actually start writing, you get to look down and start investigating. You have time, you have perspective now, you have distance. You're a totally different person. And now you get to find out what actually happened. So that's the first benefit, that our stories are going to help and enhance us, whether it's to acknowledge what you've overcome, to understand what happens. I believe that we tell stories because we're grappling to understand something. So first and foremost, you are the beneficiary. And then when we tell our stories, it takes away other people's shame or embarrassment, or you feel connected to them. It's profound and deep. And once you hear somebody's story, they'll never be a stranger again.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I've been blessed to experience that through, like your clients who are doing like the one woman show or sharing, like it is true. Oh my gosh, it's just mind blowing. So let's go to the one woman show. That's one of the ways that it just, I can't even find words for it. It is incredible. Like I just experienced my mentors, Adriana, do her one woman show, and it just blew me away. And that's something that I plan to do in the future because it was so powerful, so powerful. So let's talk about what are some of the ways that you pull that golden story out of your clients so people come to work with you.
So this is Adriana Monique Alvarez, and she took my solo show masterclass. So I offer it as a 6-month group class. I also offer it as a 5-month individual. So I take people through the process and I focus as much on playing, nurturing, investigating, as well as the craft of putting together a one-person show, because we have to be able to play. That's where we can really come out about who we are, our essence, our joy, because we get so conditioned to, I want it to be good. And then that totally depletes the creative process. So I do a lot of exercises to help both with the crafting of telling a story, having dramatic structure, as well as playing and letting it be what you want it to be, as well as the story knows. And it's to try to get out of the way and see where your imagination and your creativity is taking you. Sometimes people start with a story, and that actually happened to Adriana. They think they want to tell one story, and it may be they tell that story to make room for the next, or it completely evolves and something else needs to emerge. And I know things just sometimes have their own timing of coming up the pipeline. And the way that that is evidenced is because it comes out in the writing. And so I take people through and build it. So they, put up 40 minutes in class, they put up 50 minutes in class, but everything is preparing and getting encouragement and support and reflection, because it's so easy for us to think, oh, nobody cares about this story. And it's really building people's confidence, as well as them actually experiencing what is unique and extraordinary about them, because it's being reflected back to them. Things that they, take in stride or they don't think is remarkable, that they get to experience people's eyes lighting up. Oh my gosh, tell me more about that. So we can't create in a vacuum, and everybody needs support and encouragement. And, I know the craft of it, but I also want people to have a joyous experience and learn to walk a new path with their creativity, which is as important to me as coming out with a beautiful story, that they won't shut themselves down. They won't give up on themselves. They'll give themselves a chance, and then they find that they are capable and so much more creative than they ever would have guessed. And, I look at going through the 6 months as a graduation celebration of having a voice.
That's powerful. I love that. Wow.
And I cannot wait to see the story that's going to come out in your amazing one-woman show. And I know that there will be so much laughter.
Or you already started pulling it out of me. It's like every time we connect, she's like, oh, right there, right? I'm like, dang it. Yeah. Oh man, it's something that what you do, I feel like is what the world needs at this time. It's not, I love that you said this, it's not about, the seriousness about what is your story. It's like, let's connect back to that playfulness. And through that playfulness, let's see what comes through. Let's see what you remember about who you are, your journey, and what wants to be told. And these are just little bits that I've noticed, but I know there's so much more when you're working with someone that comes through to support them.
Yeah. And also taking away what you think is awful about you, taking away the shame. You may also find the humor and the absurdity in the tragedy. And people will identify. The more personal you get, actually, the more universal it becomes. And then it really becomes a gift. And I talk about whenever I'm working with somebody on a story that really matters to them and they're scared, which is normal and natural, challenging, what is the gift to the self by telling the story? And then what is the gift to the reader or the audience? And that's a great way to take away from, am I enough? Is this good or is this bad? To really connect to looking at the gifts that are being given and received.
Yeah. It's brilliant. So with that said, how can people work with you? What are some ways they can work with you? And also, how can they find you and contact you?
So I work individually with people, coaching. I have 8-week Uncover Your Story Gold classes. I have my solo show master class. I have a website. I'm guessing my links will be in your.
Yes.
So my website is Creative Rites, and Rites is spelled RITES.com. And as you know, it really is such a privilege to be invited into people's stories. And that's how I really see it. And also, I'm an only child. So when people allow me into their creative process, into their story, it just gives me so much joy. And I just feel so honored. And people are fascinating.
I agree. I agree. Absolutely agree. Let's see. I just got a comment. Someone just said, I can't see the name, but they said, I love working with Terrie. Yeah.
Who is it? Oh, you can't see the name. Okay.
Yeah, I'll have to like go back on Facebook and look at it. But on here, it doesn't say the name.
Okay.
Yeah. But I absolutely believe, like, yeah, what you do is gold. Let's just put it that way. Absolutely. Oh, it's Adriana. There you go. I was like, I have it. Yeah. Okay. There you go. We were just talking about you, Adriana. Yes. But yes, so if you know that you're here to share your story with the world and you're like, I have no idea how I'm going to do this, I have just introduced you to an amazing woman who can beautifully and gracefully and playfully lead you through that journey. If you're someone who knows you're here to write a book and you're like, I don't know where to start, you know who to contact now. If you would like to do a one-woman show, well, you know who to contact. If you're like, what is a one-woman show? You know who to contact too. So I'm going to put all her links in the show notes. I think it's underneath or above. Sometimes it shows up. And yeah, feel free. Contact her, talk to her, get on her email list, because sometimes we get to experience her work with her clients where we're invited into the world to witness someone else also telling their story. And trust me, it is the most beautiful and sacred thing to just simply witness.
Yes. So I'm glad that you mentioned that. So I host Gorgeous Stories, which I've been hosting for 22 years. And it's people sharing stories from their life, and it's always moving and inspiring. And the people that are the storytellers come from all my workshops. So at the end of my 8-week workshop, you do Gorgeous Stories. And it's not about performing. It's about being witnessed and being heard. Because when we say our words out loud, it's empowering.
Yes, it is.
And people can do one-man shows. You do not have to be a woman.
Oh, yes. Yes, it's not just one woman show, by the way. Yes, it's one man, one show where it's just you sharing your journey, sharing your story. So now you know, go send Terrie a message. You will thank me for it for years to come. Trust me. Just connecting with her and just chatting with her alone is a gift. So yes, you're welcome.
Abigail, I just can't tell you how much I appreciate you. You are magic. You glow. You have just such an amazing energy. And so every time I'm connected with you, I just feel lighter and lifted, and I just want to laugh. So thank you. And I so appreciate being with your group and your audience, and just bless you and bless your heart, Abigail.
From my heart to your sister. Thank you. Thank you for joining me today and sharing your gift with my people so they know how amazing you are, and they can also have the opportunity to share their amazing stories that I know they have.
My pleasure. So I'm really excited. My Uncover Your Story Gold classes have just started. So if you are interested, I think I have a spot left in my classes, and my solo show Standout Story Masterclass is starting mid-September, in case you're interested. And I'm happy and open. If anybody just wants a jump start, contact me, because I just want people to be writing and creating.
She really means it. She's not just saying it, she means it. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, sister, for joining me. And thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining us live and just receiving this blessing of this gorgeous woman here and her beautiful gift that she's sharing with the world. And Adriana, thank you for popping in. All right, my loves, from our hearts to yours. And until next time, bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.